Today, I will be encouraging and persuading aspiring parents to get their child or children into sports as soon as possible. This is something that can aid their growth and development and somewhat get them ready to deal with the ups and downs of life. While discussing how valuable sports are, I will also note how the concept of pay to play is decreasing the number of children who play organized sports. I thoroughly believe that youth sports are valuable to children's growth, and I hope that at the end of this speech you can understand and grasp their perspective. Obviously, there are instances in which kids cannot participate, whether it is financially or health related. Studies have shown that in general, children do better in life if they participate in sports as a child. According to the Aspen Project Play, children that are active and play sports are less likely to be obese, do better in school, are less likely to do drugs in the future, and are more likely to have active children in the future. Research from household surveys show that this creates a cycle for activity, ultimately promoting multi-general health and wellness in various aspects of life. Not only does it teach life lessons along with social skills, it can boost your mood and morale while being healthy. The cycle of children who play sports, becoming healthy adults, and having active children is a prime example of the value of sports. Children or teenagers who play sports are 8 times as likely to be active at age 24 compared to those who do not. This is a direct correlation to a decrease in obesity, according to the CDC. America ranks at the top of the list of countries for most obese children. One of the modern problems is that 5% of youth from 5 to 18 meet the recommended 60 minutes of exercise per day, according to a 2018 study from the Nationwide Children's Hospital. Another interesting point is that children who come from the suburbs are the most likely to participate in youth sports, whereas children that live in low-income areas are the least likely to play an organized sport. Families with more money tend to live in suburban areas, which leads to the support of families in having their children play a sport. Families that focus on sports are most likely to live in suburban areas and have the familial structure of 2 parents who support and encourage their child to play a sport. Most children start off playing soccer and baseball as their first sport, as I did, but by the time they reach the age of 9, basketball becomes the most popular sport for children. Basketball is clearly the cheapest sport, as all you need is a ball to play, and there are pretty much hoops around the area, whether they're at schools or in your neighborhood. Some of the other sports, like baseball and football, require equipment as well as a ball. Families that live in the suburbs have more money to allow their children to participate in organized team sports, as opposed to children who live in cities. In fact, a report from CBS stated that youth sports diverge according to the economy. Public schools are requiring children to pay to play more often, and this discourages youth from lower socioeconomic backgrounds from being able to play organized sports. Although this is the case, plenty of opportunities arise, whether with friends or family. There are ways to engage in sports, and individually or team, without paying, and it can be the path to organized team sports. As recently as August of 2019, ESPN linked the decrease in youth playing sports to the pay-to-play concept. The average amount of money spent on a child playing a sport per year is just under $700. Basketball is the cheapest organized sport for children to play and ends up being the most popular. As previously noted, among youth, you start to play soccer and baseball which is like the most popular when you're a younger kid. And then as you get older and you have to actually have families to pay for certain sports, basketball ends up being like the easiest for all families to be able to participate in. The concept of pay to play isn't a certainty everywhere. It just describes and backs up numbers describing the difficulties. The analysis before this speech would suggest that my classmates and peers support this notion, and the facts behind this have been stated. It is well established that youth who play sports fare better in numerous aspects of life. A couple of things that it would teach would be teamwork, striving to win. I guess building relationships. A lot of it is personal to me. I think certain things in my life, I've played sports my whole life, and a lot of that has, molded me into who I am today, and just able to, I guess, respond in numerous amounts of situations. This is statistically shown and can be observed in person on a case-by-case basis. Because of how valuable sports are to youth and their growth, pay to play disproportionately affecting children of lower socioeconomic status is devastating to youth that are affected by this plan. I have provided you with an easy way and plan to get your kids involved in some form of sports.